Hello, in this video let's look at the formulas for the angle sum and angle difference. We can use these formulas to compute exact values of some angles that we could not do before, because in the past we could only compute the sine, cosine, tangent of any angle if it was multiple of 30 or 45. If it was anything else, we only had the calculator to work with. But with these formulas, we can compute other angles. For example, we can look at the sine of 75 as the sine of 30 and 45, because those two together would add to 75. And now we can compute the sine of 75 exactly, simply using the angles we already know. We can also compute, for example, the tangent of 15, because we can write 15 degrees as 45 minus 30, and we know how to compute each one of those. So these are some of the situations where we can use these formulas. We can also use them to prove identities, because sometimes these expressions show up in different trigonometric identities, and we need to know them. We need to be able to recognize them to make use of them. So in one example, let's compute the sine of 75 degrees using the first formula. So here below, let's rewrite what the formula is, and then we will substitute the values as we go. So find the sine of the 75 degrees. We can write it as the sine of 30 plus 45, and then we use our formula to expand this expression, and we will get sine of the A is 30 degrees, B is 45. So each time we see the A, we will substitute the 30, and each time we see the B, we will put in 45. And that makes sine of 30 times the cosine of 45 plus cosine of 30 sine 45. So now we need the exact values for each one of those angles, and we can make unit circle, and the vertical axis is the sine axis, horizontal is the cosine, and if we measure out 30 and we go to the sine, that is much closer to half. So our answer is half, because we only need to remember two values, half and almost 1, which is square root of 3 over 2. For the 45 degrees angle, there is only one number to remember, and that is square root of 2 over 2. And it's either positive or negative. In our case, it's a positive because we're on the positive cosine and the positive sine. For the next piece, cosine of 30 degrees, cosine of 30 degrees is much closer to 1, as we have done in other videos, and the number that is much closer to 1 is square root of 3 over 2. Sine of 45 is once again square root of 2 over 2. Now we can simplify this a little bit, because both denominators are 2 times 2, which is 4. So here, let's do the simplification. 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. Square root of 3 and square root of 2, that's square root of 6. And both have 4 on the bottom. So this is our final answer in exact form. Now let's see if the calculator agrees with us. So here is the calculator, and let's make sure we are in degree mode. So the mode, and it's in degrees, but we need to see a little bit more up. So let me adjust this a little here. So we are in degrees, we can see it here, which is correct. And now we just type in the sine of 75 and get the decimal. So here's the decimal, 0.9 something. Now let's type in our answer and see if it's close. So we have square root of 2, and then we have plus square root of 6, and then the whole quantity divided by 4. I need to close the parentheses, divide by 4. And the answer is exactly the same. So this proves that we have found the correct solution by hand. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. Thanks for your time.